All right, and welcome to the Underdog's Edge. And this is episode number 8, season number 2. And I'm so ecstatic that you're joining me here today on this podcast. And listen, if you're new to the Underdog's Edge podcast, this podcast is for entrepreneurs, business owners, community leaders, salespeople, marketers, whoever's out in the world, whoever is a mover or a shaker or trying to make things happen in their life. This podcast is for you. And I'm just thrilled that you're joining me today. This podcast, we want to deliver value that is that's action oriented. We want you to be able to walk away from this podcast and just have the sense of what can I do today? What can I accomplish today that's going to move me forward on my journey, on my path, on to achieve my goals. And that is what's important about this podcast, guys. This is for everybody and anybody that is really seeking to maximize their potential in the world. And I'm just so grateful that you're joining me here today. And this is episode number 8. And today's podcast, I'm going to go over the winner's mindset. And what is the winner's mindset? And what are the 4 things that compile a winner's mindset? You know, it's so vital to have a winning in being a winner, in business and life and sports and, our churches, our schools, our educational system. I mean, the world needs people that have a winning mindset, and winning is often just based on us. It's you versus you. It's not necessarily a competitive mindset, although that does have some factor in it. But it's mainly a personal thing. It's a personal way of looking at life. It's a personal perspective, a personal filter. So I want to get right into the winning mindset, having a winner's mindset, and the 4 things that build and compile a winning mindset. And listen, the first thing, guys, to a winning mindset is commitment to yourself and into your craft. You cannot be a winner. You cannot win if you're not committed, number 1, to yourself and committed to your craft. And so your craft could be, so many different things, depending on where you are in life and what you do. But having the commitment to yourself is a prerequisite to mastering your craft. If you're not committed to yourself, you can't master anything else. You can't master your business, master your schooling, master your job, your work, your purpose in life, if you're not at first committed to yourself. And what does it mean to be committed to yourself? To me, being committed to yourself just means you have an emotional interest, a mental, emotional, and a spiritual interest in your own personal well-being and development. This is a true interest in maximizing who you are, who God made you to be. And having that commitment to evolve to your highest level is the prerequisite for everything in life that's great, for everything in life that is successful. This is the very first step that happens. So having a winner's mindset, the first step and the first aspect is commitment to yourself, to your development, to who you are as a being, and then simultaneously a commitment to your craft. So whatever you do in your business, in your industry, in your purpose, doesn't matter if this is a community activity that's nonprofit, or if it's a entrepreneurial venture that is for profit. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is it's important to you. It's something that you're embarking on in your journey, and you have to have full commitment to being the very best that you can in this particular space and craft. So this is the very first step to having a winner's mindset, is commitment to yourself as a being, and then commitment to your specific craft and role. The second thing to a winner's mindset is you are not your challenges. You are not your challenges. You are not your quote unquote failures. First off, I don't believe in failure unless you just quit. But what we often call failure is really just challenge. But you, as a being, as a spiritual being who God made, you are not your challenges. So if you're struggling if you're running a church and you're struggling to, get people on board with to God's message and what you're trying to do in the church, that challenge is not you. It's not who you are. It doesn't reflect you as a being. If you're a business owner and you're struggling to bring in new revenue, you are not your challenge, although you are experiencing a challenge. It is your job to rise up and to overcome that. But the challenge is there to help you actually get better, to help you succeed, to help you get better in what you do. It's actually there as a gift to sharpen your skills and to sharpen your ability. But oftentimes, as we embark on these paths and we face a challenge, we personalize the challenge. We personalize the quote unquote failure like as if it's something about us, and it has nothing to do with you. You are not your failures. You are not your challenges. You experience these situations, but they're there as an opportunity to allow you to grow and rise up, but beyond them. But we cannot personalize these situations as if they're who we are, as if God made us these things, these situations. That is not the way God created the situation, in my humble opinion. It's just not. You are not your failure, and you are not your challenges. They are there to help you rise above and to sharpen yourself and to get better. It's a way that God and life, in my opinion, helps refine and develop ourselves as beings. So I think it's really, really important. So that's key number 2 to a winner's mindset is you are not your challenges. Do not personalize your obstacles. They have nothing to do with you as a personal being. Okay. The third thing to a winner's mindset is having a big picture perspective. Man, how challenging can this be sometimes? I mean, especially as a business owner, when you have people that you're working with, you have a team, you have responsibilities and tasks and this and that and checklists and to-do lists. It's so easy to get caught up in the minutia. It's so easy to get a very narrow focus. It's so easy to lose track of the bigger picture. And man, this is so key to having a winner's mindset. If you're a winner and you have a winning mindset, you must always keep the big picture viewpoint intact, because what it's going to allow you to do is, we just talked about those challenges, but now whenever you're experiencing a challenge, you know that it's not personal. But when you have a big picture viewpoint and you have a big picture perspective, you understand that this one small moment of time is just one slice of time that in the big scheme of things is not going to take you off your path. It's not going to take you away from what God has in store from you. It's not going to take you away from what God is going to bless you with. This is something that is just a momentary moment of time, a small slice of time. And we cannot lose track of the bigger picture. We have to understand that there's so much more activity ahead. There's so many more opportunities ahead. There's so many more great people that we're going to meet ahead. There's so many more breakthroughs ahead that it's just one moment of time. And I don't know the exact, scripture, but I do know that it says somewhere in the Bible that this too shall pass. It will pass. It always does. And so the third aspect to having a winner's mindset is always having a big picture perspective. So if you're in a challenging moment, we already know that these challenges are going to happen. We are not bigger than this. God is not going to just not give you challenges in life. No one's immune to having a perfect. No one's going to just have a perfect life. But whenever we have challenges, if we can keep the big picture and viewpoint intact, we will know that, okay, let me just calm down for a second, because this one moment of time may be here, but I know that I'm going to surpass this. I want to have a breakthrough in the future. I want to have a moment of openness in the future. God's going to open up a door in the future, which could be tomorrow, could be now, could be 5 minutes from now, 3 weeks from now. We don't know, but I know that I have faith that God will open up the door, that this is just one small moment in my life, and I have a long ways to go. The fourth thing to a winner's mindset is who, not how. So oftentimes, as you know, we set out and strive on this path of personal development, this path of becoming more of who God made us to be, this path of maximizing our potential. We immediately come into conflict with the fact that we don't know a lot of things, that we don't have a lot of skills, that we don't know what to do when it comes to certain things. And this is going to happen to everybody. I don't care how talented you are. When you embark and embrace new territory and you go out and seek new things in life, you will be confronted with the fact that you don't know something that you're supposed to know. And if we don't have the simple principle of who, not how, it will truly trip us up. And then once again, we're going to feel like we're not adequate. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. I don't have this particular skill set. Well, guess what? Yeah, you don't. But the first thing is find someone who does. So the question is who? Who has this skill set that can help me? Who has the information that I can get that's going to help me overcome this challenge? Who has the connections that I need to help get this thing launched off, this project launched off? Who, not how. And as you connect with the who's, the how's will come and you'll get clarity and you'll develop the how because you're around the who. But man, if you're embarking new territory, you're trying to go out and conquer new land, you're trying to develop and grow a new business, you're trying to build a church, you're trying to add something new to the educational system, you're trying to create a networking event, you're trying to, whatever it is, do a community project. This is new territory. There's going to be something that you don't know. But guess what? It's like that for everybody. A winner says who, not how. A winner says, I don't need to know everything. I'm going to find the people that do know it, and I'm going to have them help me. And then in the process of having them help me, I'm going to develop the how. I'm going to figure out the how. I'm going to learn the how. And I'm going to overcome this and get this job done. Guys, we're not going to know everything. We're not going to know every single thing from A to Z. And if you do, you're Jesus Christ. And I'm not Jesus, and you're not Jesus. So just let it be. You're going to have to figure some things out. And I guess what? Everybody, strangers out there in the world have all the answers that you need. You just got to find out who. And once you find out who, then you figure out how. Guys, this is the 4 components to a winner's mindset. Everybody has the capability of having a winner mindset. Everybody has the capability of being a winner. Being a winner does not necessarily mean I have to dominate other people. I have to dominate this, dominate that, beat this person, beat that person. Matter of fact, it really has nothing to do with that. What it has to do is you versus you. It has to do with the philosophy of thinking. It has to do with the way you take action, the way you move in life. So let's recap the winner's mindset. The first thing that goes into a winner's mindset is your commitment to yourself as a being, to the commitment to development and the growth of who you are, who God made you to be, and then simultaneously the commitment to your craft. The second thing to a winner's mindset is you understanding that you are not your challenges. You are not your failures. You are more than that. You experience challenges. You experience moments of setback. You are not those things. Very important that we have clarity on that. The third thing in a winner's mindset is having big picture perspective. Always seeing the big picture. Never losing track of what God has in store for you in the future. Never losing track of your breakthroughs that are going to happen. Never losing track of where you're heading in life, seeing the vision, letting go of the narrow-mindedness. Yes, when you're in the minutia of daily life, you're going to have to do tasks and mark off a checklist, but you cannot lose track of the bigger picture. Always keep the vision in front of you. And the fourth and the final thing into the winner's mindset is having the mindset of who, not how. There will be things that you don't know. Your job is not to figure them out. Your job is to find people that already know the answers and have them help you. And as they help you, you will figure out the how in the process. Your job is not to figure everything out from A to Z. It will take lifetimes if that's what you're going to try to do. So it's who, not how. Guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you get value from this. I hope this podcast uplifts you, inspires you, motivates you, is a catalyst for you to go out there and embark on the journey of life and be committed to yourself. Because if you're committed to yourself, you're going to be committed to the people that you love in your life. You can't be committed to the people that you love in your life and not be committed to yourself. It doesn't work. You got to be committed to yourself. Who God made you. Who did God make you to be? Be committed to that. Be committed to who God made you to be in this life. And if you're committed to that, you will be committed to your loved ones. You will be committed to your craft and your job and your work and your industry and your purpose and your destiny. I hope this podcast inspires someone out there. It's not about perfection. There is no such thing as perfection. There's only progress, and there's only momentum, and there's only forward movement. So guys, go out there, and until next time, have a phenomenal week. I'm so happy that you're tuning in. I hope this is something that uplifts your soul. Until next time, adios.